What's going on, guys? So today you get to meet a special lady friend of mine. I've known this lady for about 7 years now, and she's been one of the most loyal women in my life. She's a little bit older than me. She's a 1987 Chevy Custom Deluxe. Well, if you haven't figured it out now, I'm talking about this truck. So before I had my current job, I used to work with a landscaping service. I worked with that service for about 5 years now. I'm very good friends with the owner, and anytime he has a little welding project or needs something repaired that involves steel, I'm generally the guy he goes to. And he's referred me to a couple of his friends too, so, and it's a good relationship I got with this guy. So, this is the back of that truck. So, the problem with the truck is this is a leaf vac truck. So, a leaf sucking unit sits on the back right here. When he goes to the dump, this whole unit just swings off to the side. That way you can open up the gates. And the issue is with the gates right here, this locking piece has literally broke free. So, should be a pretty quick welding job, just gotta fix this up. So the first thing that I need to do here is I need to remove the pre-existing weld that cracked. I'm gonna remove some of the pre-existing weld on that main shaft there. Once I get that all cleaned up, we'll break out the welder. I'm gonna use the MIG welder today with solid core wire and some argon gas, and we'll put a nice pretty bead on her. Okay, so what?
No, I was going to stop it. Go ahead.
Yeah, just how this works. Sometimes it takes 10 clips. All right, taking a look at this hooking pin that goes in that main shaft there. I'm taking a look at the original weld, and I can obviously see why it failed. So if you look at this ring right here, you can see the holes and porosity in there, and that tells me whoever welded this initially did not do a good job of prepping the surface and doing a nice clean weld. So it's likely that he welded this while it was dirty, or he didn't have the right concentration of argon. So those are just a couple things that could contribute to a bad weld. Something I like to do always before I start welding is on a piece of scrap steel, I like to just tune in my machine and make sure that my argon concentration is right, the machine's running good, I got my amperage set right, and that will just help you ensure that you get a nice clean weld.
It's recording.
Oh, the whole time?
Yeah.
You gotta shut it off in the meantime.
I did in between.
Alright, so I just did a test weld right here, and I like the way my machine's tuned in right now. It's a nice clean bead. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tack weld this on either side, at least 2 welds on it. I'm going to take everything off, then I'm going to try this latch real quick to make sure everything fits and lines up well. And if I'm happy with that, then I'll put the finishing welds on this shaft. Good fit. Now I can put the finishing weld on this. So guys, I want to give you 2 quick tips when you're doing a weld like this. This is a vertical weld. I'm going to position the gun at a slightly upward angle. That way, when I'm welding, it kind of pushes the puddle up. If I weld perpendicular, then the puddle is going to sink a little bit. And then the second tip I have is because I'm running solid core MIG wire and I'm using argon gas, I'm going to position the gun, make sure I have good hand position, maybe interlocking my fingers like so. And then after I take my hand off the trigger and I allow the MIG gun to stop, I'm going to keep the head of the MIG gun next to where I just welded for a second there. And that just allows the weld to solidify, and it allows that gas to kind of stay in there and protect that weld for that last stage of solidification. Look at the final product. Nothing special, but she's nice and clean. I call that good repair. Alright, so now I gotta drive this truck back to the shop. As mentioned earlier, it's a 4-speed, so in order to drive this, first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna take off the parking brake, hold in the clutch, 1 foot on the brake, make sure it's in neutral, start the boat. Alright, I'm going to start off in low gear, so I'm going to put some upward pressure on the low gear, let the clutch out slowly. You can focus the camera down here. Alright, see I was in neutral there, clutch in, pressure up on low, low's in, I'm going to let off the clutch slowly, give it a little bit of gas, now I'm in low, clutch, and then I'm going to drop to neutral and then drop to my next gear. Well, upshift to my next gear. So that's in first. A little bit of gas, upshift. Now I'm in second. Now I'm getting ready to stop. I'm not going to downshift here. Press the clutch in, pop it in neutral. I'm in low, letting the clutch out slowly, pulling into traffic. Clutch, upshift to first. Clutch to neutral, clutch to second, clutch to neutral, clutch to third, or fourth rather. It's a 4-speed, but low is considered low. Low isn't considered first.